Welcome to Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast with your hosts, Doug Macedo and Jim Roberg.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Doug, and today we've got a guest with us today. The gentleman's name is Sean. He is a prior service veteran, but before we dive into all of his information and talk about his background and how him and I ended up getting acquainted. I'm going to give a big shout out to all of our listeners and everything. Thank you for definitely checking in with us every week on either on Fubar Studios, Veteran Reinforcement, or Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast. Definitely appreciate it. Want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors and supporters and donors and everything. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do the On the Water with veterans, or we wouldn't be able to do the whole track day for veterans as well, and be able to help out all the veterans out there. As my phone is whistling at me like it is like a Twitter post. It probably is a Twitter post. But either way, we're going to get back to that. I want to give a big shout out to the New England Blue Collar Printing. Without their support, the shirts that we got made for Track Day for Veterans would not be possible. So thank you so much. We appreciate you guys' generous donation to that. We also have Larry's Landscape Supply that is in Charlton, Massachusetts. Larry, thank you. Wendy with Big Belly Cafe, located in Webster, Massachusetts, right next to Indian Ranch. So if you ever need something before you go to Indian Ranch, check them out. They've got the kitchen sink. Kid you not, you won't be able to finish it, even if you wanted to. But check it out. Definitely delicious. It's on should be on your bucket list to hit that place. We also have Reed's Archery down in Middleborough, Massachusetts. Anything you need for your archeries and stuff like that. Getting ready for bow hunting, they have it. Getting new strings put on the bow, or even some new arrow tips, or even arrows. We all know sometimes those break. But check them out, Reed's Archery. They're in Middleborough, Massachusetts, also in Virginia as well. But also want to give a shout out to Veteran Development Corporation, Mark Vaughn, amazing individual, classic car guy too. He's also a veteran as well, United States. I believe it. I'm sorry if I get this wrong, Mark. I believe you were United States Marine Corps, but you could be an Army guy. I can't remember if it was you or your dad. My apologies, bud. I also want to give a big shout out to one of our other donors, which is Standard Auto in Worcester, Massachusetts. They do a lot of salvage cars. If you're looking for parts and stuff, check them out. And also Harbor Freight. And we have a bunch more coming, hopefully, for 2025. So thank you so much. Without you guys' support and donations and stuff, we wouldn't be able to give back to the veterans as they've sacrificed so much for us, them and their families. All right, so Sean, I want to get back into talking about you. You and I, we met, well, actually, you know what? I'll let you give the whole how we ended up getting acquainted, getting introduced, and also your background. So if you want to take it away, you can go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll start with my background. So I enlisted in the U.S. Army April 17th of 2000, and I enlisted in the Intelligence Corps. Insert oxymoron on here. I did that for a couple of years. I ended up deploying to Iraq for OIF 1, 2, and 3 in 2003 and 2004. And a couple of years after coming home, I swapped over to the New Hampshire National Guard, where I became a medevac crew chief and flew in Black Hawk helicopters. And I deployed back to Iraq in 2009, 2010 as a medevac crew chief. I got out of the military in 2013 after 13 brief years. I decided to become a civilian. I was really going to take a break for a little bit and then go back in, but I really enjoyed my civilianity. Is that a word? We're going to make that a word. Why not? But I enjoyed being a civilian, and not that long ago, there was a Facebook posting of somebody that was requesting veterans to take part in driving a race car, and I've been a race fan for a number of years, and I was like, well, hell yeah, like I'll take advantage of that. And that's when I reached out to you and said that I would love to do that. Not everybody gets that opportunity, so when the opportunities come along, you jump on it. As luck would have it, I ended up watching a couple other people go around the track, and then the car broke, and I didn't get to drive a race car. But, I was able to bring a couple friends along, and they were able to drive a race car. And even though I didn't drive one, that still made me feel good that I was able to help somebody else get involved with that. Then not long after that, you had posted something up for fishing.
Yep.
And I was really looking forward to that. And I ended up being stuck working, so you guys went without me. And so realistically, I've tried my best to participate in things with you, but as my luck would have it, I just can't.
You're always batting for 1,000 so far.
Yeah,
like,
I set the bar low. You don't have to do much to raise it.
But I mean, so you didn't get to do the driving of the race car on the track there at Star Speedway.
Yep.
Because of this, it was two reasons: steering wheel with the passenger who was that was not the technical driver, but was there for certain people that needed it. That steering wheel ended up breaking. It was could have been a simple fix, but it turned into a lot bigger once they dived into it. But Dave has assured me they've already got it fixed. Now we're just waiting for a track. But it also there was no rain that was supposed to be coming through. And lo and behold, we started getting signs of rain going to be coming. And then no sooner did we pack up, it was downpouring.
Yep. That's my luck.
But the better of it is we had the raffle, and
yeah,
you got a bottle,
I did. I got a amazing bottle of scotch that I don't even know if I'm going to open it. I just got another beautiful.
case. I just got another case of it. So
Well, if I got to spend like another $40 on tickets for that one, I'm in.
It's
I'm in.
and you know what it is? I even got another bottle of 82nd Airborne, which you really can't. I don't know if they're making them anymore. They are
Oh wow.
they're still being sold. There's still some out there, which they're still sell. I think they're selling for like 130 to 150, depending on who it is. But yeah, it's still being sold. It's just I don't know. I've heard so many different stories that they're not making them anymore.
Hmm.
So, but we'll see. I'm in contact trying to get some, hopefully donated. But we'll see, and I'll definitely keep your name out there for it. So when it does,
Yeah, absolutely.
if it comes to it, we'll be doing another one. But at least you got that.
I did. Yeah.
You know, you did. Oh no, I'm sending. I'm gonna be sending you the shirts. I am actually. I'm waiting for my set of shirts to come in. I have one shirt that I'm missing out of yours and Adam's stuff. So
Hmm.
once I have that, then I can get that. And I got to send a message to the other guy that you recommended to go on the fishing, but he had something else, a prior arrangement that ended up because we didn't
Oh
go
yeah.
one day. I got to get his shirt size. But I've got a bunch of new shirts coming out. They're behind my table. They're just I'm waiting for that set of shirts to come in, which they're coming from Jersey. So
Okay.
go figure. They're not coming from anywhere else but Jersey, from the port. So that's where we're at waiting. But yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll get those out. You guys got the other shirts like this for
Yep.
the track, which I'm actually going to be doing another redesign. I've got so many other shirts that I kid you not that I just got making, which was like the American what is it, Major League Infidels
Oh
T-shirts.
yeah. That's awesome.
Uh, these signs over here, I just got 40 of those, 40 of another one put out there. So it's like I'm getting stuff in. It's just gonna be probably gonna go. It's gonna probably go quick again. And then the hats. I just ordered new ones for next year. So that's we're gonna be everybody's gonna be looking for those because hats. When we make them, it's only a few.
Yep.
I don't do 20 or 30. I do maybe like 15. And then
And I got a hat.
yes, yes, I
I got it. Yep.
remember you. I gave you the hat, which again those are good quality hats. They're nice breathing hats.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna change that up. It won't be the same. It'll probably be the same kind of hat. Just won't be the same colors and it won't be the same design.
Right.
So that's gonna
I'm going to
be.
start a collection, man.
I'm telling you, I do too. I have them. I've got probably close to 80 hats in my house because I collected the Harley Davidson stuff too.
Yep.
So getting back to talking to you about you and stuff like that. What really made you go into the military, and what really pushed you into the intelligence part of it?
So, my family's got a long history in the military. It goes back, from what I know, it goes back at least to the Korean War. I had an uncle in the Korean War. No, I'm sorry. Check that. So, my oldest uncle was a World War II veteran. Then the next uncle, who's the middle child, he was a Korean War veteran. My dad had joined the Air Force in, I believe it was 1955, but he did nothing with Korea. He was a Vietnam veteran. And then I had a brother who joined the Army, and he got out just before the Gulf War happened. And then when it came time to it, I was kind of I don't know, like an outcast, I guess, at school. Like I really, I guess the best way to put it is in school, like I really served no purpose. Um, like I played a lot of sports. I didn't fit in with the jocks. I played drums in the band. I was not a band geek. I used to play hacky sack with the stoners, but I wasn't a stoner. Like I just kind of like I was my own person.
Yeah.
And so I turned I turned 18 in 2000, and I was like, I don't really have a direction in life. I don't really know what to do, but I knew that I wanted to serve. I just didn't know in what capacity. So I actually went to um, the Marine Corps recruiting station in Laconia, New Hampshire, and I met with a Gunnery Sergeant Krim was his name, and he was phenomenal. And I actually got really into the Marine Corps, oddly enough, from watching over and over and over Full Metal Jacket. Um, I was like, wow, if their drill sergeants are like that, like I'm gonna get a purpose, like I'm gonna get discipline, I'm gonna get all this stuff, like this is what I want. So, talking with the recruiter for a little while, we got to the point where, he was going to present everything to my mom and my dad, and so he came over to the house, and he was in his dress blues and everything, looked like $1,000,000, and he came in and kind of gave his spiel about, the Marine Corps and what I want to do and all this other stuff. And my mom just looked at him and said, "No kid of mine's going to be cannon fodder." And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." And she looked at me like right in front of him, and she goes, "Why don't you join the Air Force like your father?" And I said, "Because my father already did it. My uncle already did it. I had another brother that was Air Force as well." I'm like, I don't want to go Air Force.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go Marine Corps because my oldest uncle was a Navy vet, and then my brother went into the Army. So they were all covered except the Marine Corps. So I wanted to make my own path.
Yeah.
So after she shot me down for that, I didn't really know what to do. So I went next door to the Army recruiter, and Sergeant Heath was his name, and we got to chit chat and everything. And he said, "Well, what do you want to do in the military?" And I said, I really don't know. Like, I want to do something. Like, I thought about infantry or whatever. He's like, "Well, what do you want to do outside of the military?" I said, "Well, I always thought about getting into law enforcement." He goes, "Well, if you want to get into law enforcement, the best thing to do is to go into intel, because if you go into intel, you're going to have, security clearance and all this other stuff that will set you up in the future." And at first, at the time, I was like, "This guy's just full of crap. Like, there's no way this is a thing." Well, it turns out it actually benefited me in the long run. And so at that point, I had turned 18, and I enlisted myself in the Army, even against my mom's wishes. And I even looked at her and said, "Well, my brother Michael was the one that was in the Army." I said, "Well, you let Mike join the Army, so you don't really have a leg to stand on." So I joined the Army, and I had a good career in the Army. I met a lot of great people, saw a lot of cool places, saw a lot of horrible places. But the Army did what I needed it to do. I got discipline, I got direction. I knew what it like joining the Army, just joining the military in general, but specifically the Army. I learned a lot more about, loyalty and honor and all those other great military words. Like, Army has their core values is broke down to loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. And I learned a lot about that in my time in the Army, and that has molded me into the person that I am today. And I try to instill those same values in even my kids. I'm thankful that I had the ability. There's plenty of people out there that they went to enlist, but they couldn't because they had asthma or they're whatever. They had reasons.
Yeah.
I was fortunate that I was able to enlist, and I'm very, very proud of the service that I did, and I'm honored to be able to put myself in the same bracket as World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans. Like, we're all veterans.
Yeah.
So I feel very proud to be part of what I consider a very elite brotherhood.
Yeah.
Only 2% of the population serves in the military. So to be able to put that uniform on and then be able to walk away from it with, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 arms and 2 legs, like I'm very lucky. And, um, I have friends that are missing legs, and I had friends that I lost in the military. And, I'm very thankful for what I was able to do.
Yeah.
And I would do it all again in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and that's that's again that, I mean, it's comes around, and I want to say thank you for your service, first and foremost. A lot of us veterans, we don't expect it to hear people say that, but you know, but it's something that we all say to one another, when
Yeah.
it comes to it. Because again, it's a small percentage that really does get up and raise their right hand and sign on the dotted line, to give up all their pretty much their whole life and say, we'll sign this check up and including our lives and serve this country. Um, there's a lot of people. There's so many people that won't do it.
Right.
And it could be just numerous different things. It may not be just because they don't want to. It's because, again, like you said, they have asthma or they have some kind of, ability or disability that they can't join. It's
Yep.
unfortunately they have that, disability, and they're not able to fulfill, their dream of being in the service. Unfortunately, it's just what they have. I know there's sometimes there is waivers for stuff like that.
Sure.
Because when I went in, there was a girl that did have asthma, but it was a waiver during the time, and it was like 2006 is when I know they were giving waivers for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
you know, but and that was one of them was asthma, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy, but it's great that you're able to, serve your country, and do it the way be able to do it, because
Absolutely.
there's so many people that can't, but it's amazing, and including myself, I've tracked it back. It's like 7 generations going back in my family that have served this country. You know, it's my brother. Unfortunately, he would have loved to join, but unfortunately, he couldn't because he had too many kids. He was a wild child.
Mm.
Unfortunately, too many nights out there. Sometimes this is not a G rated or PG or PG-13. It may get into the R rated or X rated sometimes, depending on who it is. I'll tell you. I've got a buddy.
I'm trying my best to behave.
I got a buddy, Mike Saunders. He's he does a lot of the stuff with me with the whole organization and stuff. And I tell you, he's another wild child. But he's army engineer. And he was in.
That's a cool job.
Oh, and he was in from like I think 2001 to 3, 4. I think he did 5 years maybe. I know he did 4. But yeah, he loved it. Anything that would go bang, he was like, yes.
That's a different breed of people. I'll tell you what.
Oh, it is. And I mean, I got in, and my MOS was a truck driver. But everybody's in infantry, but infantry people have to go through infantry training, which is 11 Bravo, and they got to go to Fort Benning to do all that. We got the basic stuff of it, but I ended up my MOS. I was a truck driver, 88 Mike, Fort Leonard Wood. Everybody knows it as Fort Lost in the Woods.
We're lost in the woods. Yep.
Yeah. Getting in and out of those cattle carts, and being driven around by a tractor trailer, and you feel like a bunch of cattle in the back, because that's all it's happening is you're just going back and forth. There's no seats. You're just holding on for dear life. But again, I did so much. I ended up becoming an officer driver, which was my last duty station, and that was fun. It was an experience, and again, a lot of traveling. Been to a lot of places I enjoyed, from Colorado, Fort Carson, enjoying, to going to Camp Casey, Korea, and hating it. Because
Carson's beautiful.
Oh, it is. You go out, right out the door. It's like, bam! There's the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
You take a little drive.
Beautiful.
You take a little drive. Go to Pikes Peak. You go take another drive. You go to the Garden of the Gods. You go the opposite way. You go to Lake Pablo, and you can rent a boat for the day and go boating, or you can go to the beach, which they call the beach, and it's a sandbar, but it's a lake. Or you can go right across there. There was right across the highway. It was four wheelers and dirt bikes and stuff track. Then another one was MacDill Air Force Base. Beautiful location. A lot of stuff you can do. Same goes with Patrick's Air Force Base. I mean, even though I was Army, I didn't get stationed at all Army bases.
Right.
My luck of the draw, I definitely didn't. I would have loved to just been stationed at all Army bases, but nope, that wasn't happening.
Air Force bases is kind of the way to go.
It really is. I'll tell you, it's a whole different world in the Air Force. The way they eat.
Chow's really good. Chow's really good.
Oh, absolutely. You can't go wrong there. But Carson had a perfect DFAS that you can go into that chow hall, and Saturdays and Sundays were the only days that you got 2 meals. That was it. You didn't get 3 meals. It was brunch on Saturdays and Sundays, or dinner. You didn't get all 3 meals. But it was good. I mean, I still had egg and cheese. I had egg and cheese. I say egg and cheese omelet, but really it's a cheese ham and cheese omelet, because egg is what makes the omelet, which everybody's always dogging me for that shit, but I'll tell you, it was that. You had it was good food. But there's some places wasn't too good, and then you had when you're out in the field, the hot A's, they weren't as good, and depending on how quick you got it, you might have got hot food, or you might have got cold food. Just the luck of the draw. But really, your overall experience with the military, what would you say that how was your experience with it?
I mean, it's my experience with the military is just like anybody else's type of experience. There's good, there's bad, there's ups, there's downs. I got to travel to a lot of cool places, which was awesome. I got to meet a lot of really cool people, which was awesome. I got some really good training, which was awesome. I had probably one of the best jobs in the Army, being a crew chief on Blackhawks. That, like, my office was just looking out the right side of the aircraft, and a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I could fly in helicopters or whatever. Like, I lived that. That was awesome, but there's a lot of bad things. I mean, going to combat is like, we do in the military, we do so much training, it's absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, if people can't come up with training, they're like, make something up, go do training. And it's like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. But then when it came time to it, and 9/11 happened. Good Lord, 23 years ago today, actually.
Yeah.
9/11 happened, and we ended up going overseas. I got deployed to Kuwait before the war even started, and that was when I realized that all this training and everything is like I kind of equate it to like American football. Is that these guys train their whole lives and build up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we ended up going, deploying overseas. And once President Bush gave the green light to, take Iraq, like that was our Super Bowl. And, a lot of us just referred back to our training. And, and it's like when you look back at it, all the stupid training and stuff we did actually came in handy.
Yeah.
I mean, there was still some pretty pointless stuff like, death by PowerPoint is never fun.
Yep.
Like even to this day, like people are like, oh, you should make a PowerPoint thing. I'm like, I refuse anything PowerPoint. Like I've had enough. But I had some good experiences overseas. I grew very close with a lot of other Joes over there. I actually connected with some British forces and some Australian forces that I'm still in contact with today. There's the bad stuff. I mean, I lost a few friends overseas that I wish that never happened. Because of the trauma and everything like that I went through with my deployments. Now I'm stuck with post-traumatic stress for the rest of my life. So integrating back into civilian life after, being a combat hardened soldier is it's impossible.
Yeah.
There's so much, my last deployment, I came home in August of 2010, and it's like, I've been out of the military for 11 years now, and I'm still trying to get my shit together.
Yeah.
So there's good and bad, but I'm thankful that I was able to serve. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I encourage anybody that is even remotely thinking about joining, like, explore your options.
Yeah.
Find the best fit for you, whether it's Air Force, Army, Marine Corps, it doesn't matter. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. It's no different in civilian life.
Yep.
Regular civilian life, your work is going to suck some days you're going to have good days at work. It is what it is. Although, when you're in combat, your bad days are really bad days.
Yeah.
But it's just a scale that you're on. There are people in the civilian world that they have bad days, and I look at it and go, really? Like that's your issue? And then there are other people that have bad days, and I'm like, I don't envy you at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, my experience in the military was great. It made me the person I am today, and it made me really appreciate the country that we live in now, just by seeing how other countries are.
Yeah.
There are many people out there who are somehow Americans that are anti-American, and I highly encourage them, go to a third world country and see how they live.
Yeah.
You don't even have to travel. Read up on things. I mean, the best thing to read up on is North Korea. You want to see how hard they have it? If you're caught watching a movie that was made in South Korea, like, you're going to prison.
Yeah.
If you don't get executed.
Yep.
In here, we can do whatever we want. If we want to watch a South Korean movie, cool. If we want to watch a North Korean movie, cool. It doesn't matter. We have these rights. We have these abilities to make the best of what we have.
Yeah.
But there are other people out there who are absolutely, diehard Americans, which is kind of like, what Americans are known for.
Yeah.
It's there are things that happen in other countries that are just unfathomable that one human could do to another. And on the one hand, I'm thankful I was able to experience that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I wish I didn't have to.
Yeah.
No,
totally get. I totally get it. I see it on a day-to-day basis, and it's crazy. And if you really compare here to North Korea, or say to even to Iran, or to other countries, now going back to Afghanistan, going to Pakistan, there's a lot of difference to it. You don't have the same you don't have the same rights. You have so many more rights here in the U.S. than you do in all these other countries. Yes, they may be free, and they may have freedom, but they don't have freedom for everything. Here,
right.
in the U.S., there's freedom for a lot of stuff, and and that goes from your religion to who you want to date, who you want to marry, to each its own. Just don't push it on me. But just like it's like a religion, I'm Catholic, but I was brought up Baptist. But I may believe in one God, you may believe in another. We have that right to choose of who we want to, pray to, and be making that choice on that. But there's other countries that you don't have that right. You have to, agree to Sharia law, and you mess up, and you go to school as a girl, and you're 12 years old, you're gonna end up dead. You go here as a 12-year-old girl, or whatnot, you're not gonna end up dead. I don't want to say you're not, because unfortunately we have crazy people, just took place in Georgia, and I do not condone any of that. But unfortunately we have it. It's in the society that we have, because we have issues. Unfortunately, certain politicians don't want to have security guards or resource officers in school, which I agree that there should be a resource officer at least at any school.
Absolutely.
It could be for drugs or whatnot. It doesn't matter. We need to have them. These are our kids. Protect our kids. Just like you're educating them. I want you to educate them on the curricular activities that they need to be taught, not on anything that you think as an individual you should be teaching them.
Right.
My kid's not a cat. My kid is a human. My son is a boy. Teach him what we need to be teaching them. That's it. But also keep my kids safe. So with that being said, again, it's like, girls can go to school here and get an education, and it doesn't matter. But 12-year-old girls going over in Afghanistan, Iraq, all these other third world countries that are practicing Sharia law and whatnot, they can't. They literally can't. There's a lot of countries women can't even still drive. Women can't even vote. Let alone anything else. They got to cover their whole face, because that's what their practice. That's what they have to do. It's their religion, and it's what their thing is. And do it here in the U.S. Absolutely, have at it. But again, it's your right. It's your ability to have that freedom to be able to do that. So there's so many opportunities. There's so many things out there that people just realize that we have it good here. Just not everything may not be good to your liking, but that's why it's an a la carte. You get to pick and choose the things you want to do and stuff. And unfortunately, if it's illegal, you can't do it. And you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, just don't get caught.
Or just don't get caught.
It's only illegal if you get caught.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a 30-round magazine in your AR-15, okay, well, just don't get caught. You want to have a bump stock on your AR-15, just don't get caught. Maybe in some states. Unfortunately, here in Massachusetts, You can't have that. You can't have a pistol grip. You can't have a tripod. You can't have this. You can't have that now as of August 1st of 2024. Thank you, Maura Healy. I appreciate it. Even though I work for the state, please, thank you. I do not appreciate it.
You're so much safer, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because, well, if you have all these guns and everything, you know, if you don't keep them locked up, they jump out and they go cause harm all over the place.
Oh,
and it's like, that's part of the thing that really gets me is that you talk about, like, I hate the term assault rifle, because any weapon is an assault whatever. If I hit you in the face with a pistol, that's an assault pistol because I just assaulted you with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the common misconception is the AR-15 stands for assault rifle. No, it's Armalite. And, like, people don't research any of this stuff, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fortunate. I live in New Hampshire. We're a constitutional carry state, thank God. You know, you don't need a permit to carry concealed here. Even if you're a Massachusetts resident and you come to New Hampshire, bring your pistol. We all have them. They're great.
Yep.
You know,
and you can open the carry.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can open carry, you can conceal, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
God bless America. And then, you know, I have a whole bunch of guns. Not one of them have escaped and gone on a shooting rampage. However, when you talk about drunk drivers that kill people in car crashes or whatever, why does nobody blame the car? Nobody blames the car. Well, it's no different than if somebody goes on a shooting rampage. It's not the gun that's doing it. It's the person that's pulling the trigger.
Yep.
You know, and we have far more people that get killed in motor vehicle crashes than are shot and killed in this country. Why are we not, like, banning cars?
Why are we not going after the manufacturer of the cars?
You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense to me.
It really does. It doesn't. It makes absolutely zero sense that, you know, the driver should be able to turn around and say, it wasn't me, it was the car. So let's take that to court.
Yeah.
You know, don't take me to court, take the car.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're driving Herbie or Kit or something like that, the car's not going to do what it wants to. Well, I mean, outside of Tesla, I guess the car's not going to do what it wants to do. Like, you have to have input.
Yeah.
You steer, you hit the gas, you hit the brake, you turn it on. It's no different than, you know, you load a magazine, you put the magazine in the magazine well, you rack around and you start pulling the trigger. It's the same thing.
Yep. It is.
And it floors me.
It does. It boggles my mind that they can say it. That these AR-15s are assault rifles. They're rifles.
Mm-hmm.
What? So you want us to go back to muskets, you know, and shooting black powder? I mean, that's not what our forefathers thought of. You know, they thought
no, absolutely not.
All they thought was be able to protect yourself, and that's what they were thinking of. You should be able to protect yourself against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and be able to protect yourself even if the government uprises and says we're going to start doing all this. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give my rifles up. I'm not going to give any of my ammunition up. You know, you're going to have to, you know, pry it from my dead cold hands.
Yep.
And they may not even be cold. They may still be warm. So just watch out. That finger may get them.
Yep. This is my safety, sir.
Absolutely. This is my safety right here as well.
I just some of that stuff it floors me, and the fact that they're like, you know, the AR-15 is, you know, this horrific killing machine or whatever. Do some research. It's a goddamn 22. You know, people around here, their 4-year-old kids are shooting 22s. It just happens to be a different round that goes in it.
Yep.
But I can assure you that whether you get hit with a 5.56, 223, 40, 50, like, it's still going to make a mess no matter what. You know, and there are tons of people who are killed by 22 caliber, you know, bullets, whether it's from a pistol or a rifle.
Yep.
It's still going to do the same thing.
Yep.
You know, but there are so many different politicians out there and stuff that I think are actually scared of it.
Yeah.
You know, and Massachusetts, of all places, like, you've got the Boston Tea Party, you've got Lexington and Concord, where the shot heard around the world was.
Yep.
Like, you've got the Battle of Bunker Hill. You have all these major, you know, Revolutionary War battles and everything was like based around Massachusetts.
Yep.
And Massachusetts is like, yeah, so all that stuff that we fought for, we're not going to have it here.
Yep.
Why?
Because
Why?
unfortunately, people in time just start getting the common sense knocked out of them.
Yeah.
Common sense has gone out the window to
Hmm.
a lot. Unfortunately, it's not as common as people think it would be.
Yeah.
And it's people that just believe in the, excuse my language, the bullshit that anybody's gonna give them, and they're being fed the bullshit, and they're just taking it spoonful at a time, and they're taking it, and it's sad.
Yeah. Well, it's what, the saying, you know, oh, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Sometimes that's not accurate.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like something or whatever, and you get into a position of power, like you can't make everybody become you.
Yeah.
We're all individuals, and that's one of the greatest parts about this country is we're all individuals and we can be individual.
Yeah.
But there's just certain politicians and lawmakers that well, they don't like that.
Yep. It's
Awesome. You don't have to like it.
It's so true.
You just don't. I don't know.
It's just the way
I don't
it
even know
is.
how we got on this track, but
I'll tell you, it was great. It was a good track that we got onto it. But it's definitely getting time to the end of the episode today. But I mean, we're definitely gonna have to pick it up where we left off, hopefully, and pick it up and go with it. But
yeah.
definitely, I appreciate you coming on today. It's good actually getting to meet up with you. Definitely looking forward to what 2025 is going to bring us. I've got a lot of stuff in the works. Can't release some of it, but I'll tell you, 2025 is going to be a off the wall, off the chain type deal. So just be on the lookout. Everybody, be on the lookout for it. 2025. It's going to bring a lot of stuff. So
Can't wait.
So again, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you, and I'll be sending those shirts out to you as my earbuds pulling out. But
Yeah, mine keeps slipping out too.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here, and thanks for getting me involved in everything with the racetrack, and then inviting me to go fishing, even though none of that's worked out in my favor yet. But I'm honored to be included in this. I'm very thankful that you invited me onto your podcast. If there's anything that I can reciprocate in the future, like, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm looking forward to 2025.
Absolutely, and you can definitely ask Adam about how the fishing went. It was crystal clear blue water, I'll tell you that.
Oh, come on! Don't. It was a beautiful day that day too.
It was beautiful. Yep.
Man.
So
Keep turning that knife a little more.
Hey, absolutely. But next time you'll be able to go. You'll be able to go.
If I got to quit my job, I'm going.
No, you won't need to do that. We'll we're gonna have plenty of trips next year.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
I'm gonna have Beavis and Butthead take it over. They can tell us what they think, and we will see everybody later. See you later.